What's up, guys? Earl at Sumo Bully Kennels back at you with another episode of Dog Talk, right? So let's get into this one because I feel like this is a very important topic. But before we get into this episode, let me just give a few notable mentions, right? First of all, shouts out to my man, Deville Designed, right? So 2 episodes ago, he commented that my volume sucked, and it did. It absolutely sucks how I listened to what you were saying, and I was like, "Oh, that's terrible," right? So, big thank you to you. I actually bought a different camera and separate mic system because of that comment. And what good is a good message if no one can hear it, right? So, one more time, DeVille Design. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. And this is what I'm saying, guys. When you guys comment, I listen, and I'm here to serve. I'm here to help. And so DeVille Design definitely helped me level my game up so that you guys can get better volume. Everyone owes DeVille Design a special thank you. All right. Secondly, special thanks to everyone that has subscribed, liked, and watched our videos. Really appreciate it. You know, we started this as a passion project. It's been growing out of control. So many of you guys reach out to me. I speak to so many of you guys daily. And, you know, it's a blessing. And again, we did this because of the things we've been through. And we were hoping that we could definitely deliver value and help people out. And I believe we're achieving that. And so thank you, guys. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, right? Let's see. Okay. So I have a lot of viewers who watch our channel. If you haven't already subscribed, liked, or comment, please do. I would truly, truly appreciate that. And you guys inspire me to provide better content, better production, better editing, better everything, right? And it gets everything because, you know, I can keep doing this, but if I don't get the feedback, then it's kind of like, you know, you lose a little bit of motivation. So if you haven't done so, guys, tap in, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. So here we go. Should you pay for a dog transport service, or should you go pick up your puppy on your own, right? Let's get into it. Pardon me, I have a cold, guys. Okay. So in this video, our purpose is to share my experience on picking up, paying for dog transport, local and international, right? I'm going to break it down to math. This time, guys, we won't get too deep into the classroom because I feel like I bore you guys with that. And so, you know, we're going to keep it easy tonight, right? Let's just talk about it and casually talk about those numbers and things like that. But before we do, let me change our screen so you guys have something more interactive to watch. Let's see here. Let's find something that's interesting. Fortuna. I think you guys want to see Fortuna because it is up and coming breeding for us. So I'm just going to play this in the background while I talk. Another announcement, guys. I did pick up Fortuna. So craziness. Look at her. Beautiful, right? I picked her up yesterday, and I'm going to share that experience today as we go through this episode, right? All right. Without further ado. So, in terms of, you know, picking up your dog. So let's start from the adult side first, right? You need a health certificate, guys. So Fortuna is just under 2 years old. You need a health certificate. And what that means is a reputable veterinary place will give you a health certificate. They give you two. There's one is for national within intercontinental U.S. and After shopping around, those prices are about 80 to $200, depends on the place you get it from. The second one is the international health certificate, which the price ranges are $150 to $350. So if you're traveling from the U.S. to another country, that's the price tag. And if you're traveling from another country into the U.S., the conversion is about the same for a couple of countries that I researched. So with that said, let's get into this episode, right? There's my baby girl. So happy to get her. She is here, guys. Can't wait to do an update video. All right, so here we go. Here's a few factors to consider. Now let's get into the puppy route, right? A lot of people buy puppies, and oftentimes the puppy is not in the state that you are getting the dog from. So let's go over it, right? 2 ways to get this dog. Bottom line, actually 3, but let's say you're picking up the dog. There's 2 ways. So if you're gonna go pick up your dog, you can either fly to get your dog and fly it back, or you can drive there. So with that said, let's start with driving there, right? And I've done this myself, and I'll share it at the end of the episode. So make sure you watch this whole episode, right? First of all, is the distance drivable, right? And that really depends on you, because when my wife and I picked up our Samba girls from Araya, we drove 16 hours back straight. And I'm not even going to act like I took credit for that driving, because I probably only drove about 2 hours of it, because I'm not a good driver, right? Imagine that. Let's not get into that stereotype, but yeah, no, I'm not a good driver. I'm good in the daytime, not good at night, but no one cares. So anyhow, how well do you drive long distance, right? I originally wanted to fly back. My wife wanted to drive back because she wanted to drive across the U.S. And, I respect that. And I told her, look, hon, it's not my strong suit, but she was cool with it. So we drove back Texas to Chicago. It took us like 15, 16 hours, maybe another hour more. But anyway, it was an experience. So the questions I would ask you is that, how well do you drive? Do you drive well at night? I don't drive well at night. I can drive okay in the daytime. At night, forget about it. I'm like a baby. I have motion sickness. The minute I'm in that car, it naturally makes me sleepy, right? So second thing is, if you're driving your own vehicle there and back, do you have a dependable vehicle, right? It's a real thing. You'd hate to break down on the way there or on the way back. So, and if you don't trust your vehicle, I would say rent a car. You're going to get a dependable vehicle when you rent a car. In terms of electric versus gas, I would say gas is easier to get, to fuel up, just because it's more of an established fuel source. Okay. The other thing is, will your schedule allow for it, right? So when we picked up our dogs, we flew there, rented a car, and drove back. But if we drove there and drove back, that would have been probably like 30 hours. It gets tricky, right? With work, kids, activities, functions, So do you even have the time to do it is the question, And if you are going to rent a car, it's, a comfortable vehicle to drive a puppy back. I would say $50, $60 a day. That gives you a nice utility minivan type vehicle or SUV where you can ride in comfort, have the space, and just cruise and, zone out. Of course, there's food and fuel. The fuel part is affected by what kind of vehicle you get and how much, miles to the gallon you get. But I believe on the way back from Texas, we must have fueled up at least 4 times. $80 a go. Food wise, well, that's all dependent on you and how you eat, or if you're gonna pack a cooler with food and everything you need. Lodging, if you got tired, right? You could do a resto, those are rest stops. or you could do like a those what do you call it, short time in those motels, just to take a nap, shower, because I feel like showering refreshes you to continue your journey. I feel like a good hot shower definitely serves everyone good. At the end of a long day, a good hot shower definitely is refreshing. So care package wise, right? Pack a care package. So if you're going to drive back with a puppy, what do you need? One, you cannot let that puppy just run loose in the car. So when my wife and I did it, we went to Walmart. We bought this big tub. It's like a 150-gallon tub. We bought cedar chips. We bought wipes. We bought dog pads, puppy wipes, disinfectant, paper towels, garbage bags to put the soiled bedding on. Because if you're not good driving and then you are driving in a car that smells like poo or pee, you're definitely not going to be happy with yourself. So having that care package and like treats, things for the dogs to chew on, for the puppies to chew on to keep them occupied. I didn't know that, and I was like, we'll fly there, we'll buy it at a local Walmart, and we'll drive back. So we probably spent another $150 on miscellaneous. We went to Walmart, bought water, and if you're driving back 15 hours, you got to feed those dogs at least twice. So we bought some food to go, like a small package of like kibble, just things that are convenient to travel with, right? That's just easy going, plug and play kind of deal. And to summarize that, we flew one way, two of us. The one-way tickets were about $150-$160 to get there. We checked into the hotel because we wanted to check out Dallas. Went to a few dinners, went to a few lunches, because when you go to a place that you don't live in, you want to try the food, right? I mean, you're already there, so you might as well try their cuisine or what they're known for. And so yeah, we did that. Drove back. The pros and the cons, I would say. So the pros, it's a lot more cost effective, right? Let's say $320 to get there, both of us. And if we didn't stay at a hotel and we just drove back, the rental would have been like $100 plus gas, probably $250, and miscellaneous $150 because we didn't pack, right? But if we would have packed, then might have been cheaper. So ultimately, the trip to fly there, drive back, buy miscellaneous stuff and gas and rental, you're right about $1,100 to $1,200. And that's the reality of what we spent, right? To fly one way, rent a car, drive back, make sure we had all the supplies we needed. Right around $1,100-$1,200 is, I would say, close to accurate, right? Now, what are the cons of driving? Well, we drove it straight 15, 16 hours. Was not fun, right? Falling asleep, if I could do things over, I would have only drove in the daytime, pulled over, got a room, rested, slept, showered, ate. And I would have only drove from like 7 a.m. to maybe 5 or 6 p.m. And that would have made the trip more manageable. But because we set the car rental, we thought we were tough, and we're like, oh yeah, we'll just drive straight back and just bring the car straight back, right? Because not only do you have to drive back, then you have to take the car back to the rental place. From the rental place, you either have to, another person has to drive there, or you have to Uber back. So that's additional cost, right? So if I could do that trip all over again, I would not have driven straight back. I would have had stopped in the midpoint, got into a hotel that accepts dogs, and enjoyed, smell the flowers, they say, right? Enjoy the trip. Because the whole purpose of us driving back is to see the different states and how beautiful they are. And in our mind, that was it. But the problem is when you drive when it's dark, you don't get to see how pretty the places are. Because it's just dark. You're just driving a highway and all you see is the lights in front of you. So we totally failed there. You know, the idea versus the execution, we failed. So that's it. So the pros are it's cheaper, or you think it is. And the cons are, well, you got to drive. And if you don't like driving like me, not going to enjoy it too much. All right. So next one, flying to get your puppy. This is time efficient, right? Because that same 16 hours, I can get to Dallas from Chicago in 2 hours, right? 2 hours there, 2 hours back, plus whatever the layover is. It's time efficient, no stress. I don't got to go nowhere, rent a car, and go jump through hoops. And typically, if you're going to fly a dog back, you know, that dog is, your breeder's going to understand to feed the dog in the morning, let it use the bathroom, clean the dog, shower it, prep the dog for travel, and basically fly back and you're good. You know, you could just go to sleep. It's a little bit more costly up front, right? So I did a round trip to Dallas. 1 second here. And this is, okay, I'm going to share with you my travel. Bam. So this is my travel to Dallas. I flew in. My flight left at 10 a.m. I'm 30 minutes from the airport. Left my house at 5:30. Got there at 6. Walked through TSA pre-check and all that. Flew there. There you go. 7:10 to 9:53 a.m. Got there. Ubered it to my breeder. Got back 3 o'clock, let's say, to the airport, and got back home. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? All for a grand total of $568.19, minus the Uber cost to get to wherever your breeder is. So right there, less stress on you. However, this also comes with its own thing. So if you're going to fly, I flew United, right? And I flew first class, by the way, if you didn't see that. So I flew first class because I wanted the legroom for round trip for, there it is, $555.94. If you're going to fly with a pet, here we go. And you guys can just jump on Google and check this out. Traveling with pets is allowed, right? If you have a puppy, there's really no weight or breed limitations on pets. However, here it is. For United, they charge $125 to bring your pet along with you in a cabin. Although you'll be on the hook for additional $125 if your layover is long. Domestic layovers are more than 4 hours, right? I do a straight flight there and a straight flight back. I don't want to deal with that layover. That's just, you know, not my thing. So, what size of dog can you fly in a cabin? About 20 pounds. So, for people who are buying a puppy and you want to pick up your puppy, there it is, 125 pounds. XL bullies at 8 weeks are right around 16 to 20 pounds. You know, unless you have an oversized dog, in which case, guys, they don't even weigh a dog, to be honest. You see this carrier right here that they're showing? This is what's called a soft carrier. And you put this at your feet, right under where your feet tuck in. If you just do an economy flight, you could buy this soft, they call this a soft bag, right? And the puppies are small at 8 weeks. They're chunky because they're XLs. However, they fit in this bag. So you could definitely do this. Pay an additional $125, and just fly your dog with you, because you're only paying it one time, right? So let's say you flew somewhere without a dog, and then when you fly back, you're coming back with a dog, then you're only paying the $125 once, which is not bad, right? So if I would have done economy to Texas, round trip would have been just under $300 plus $125. That puts me at $425, which is cheaper than actually driving, right? So, okay, so the additional steps are, there is paperwork required for whatever the age of the dog is. The dog, you have to show that the dog has been vaccinated on schedule. So for a puppy, my dogs are going crazy, pardon me. For a puppy, whatever appropriate shots for that puppy at that age, that's what it is. For an adult, you got to be fully vaccinated, rabies and all, right? Same thing with flying, guys. Bring a backpack, bring a care package. wipes, those poo poo bags you can buy at Amazon. I would bring some kind of, no, you can't even bring that because you got to go through the security. But hard things like treats, wipes, toilet paper, things like that, in case your dog, has to relieve itself. You don't want to be a jerk to the person sitting next to you, right? And so, one thing is the dog whining, which if you hold the dog, it's fine. However, the other business end of the dog when it has to, relieve itself, it's you want to be a considerate passenger, especially if you didn't buy the whole row and there's 3 of you there or 2 of you there. You kind of just want to be considerate of the other person, right? So, in my experience, it's different, right? So the first one I told you guys, we flew there and drove puppies back. Well, this time around, I did a round trip with an adult dog. And that dog here, obviously, is this girl. I'll play the reel again. So, big girl. Here's the thing with this breed, cropped. There is still some bias for this breed out there. And to say some is being nice. So when people see the dog, they have 2 reactions, right? It's, wow, look at that dog, amazing dog. Or they see the dog and they clearly beeline for the other side to get away from it. And so my first time flying an adult dog, I chose first class because I wanted the leg room and I didn't want to have to deal with it. And one of the things I did was I boarded last. So first class, I was group A to board first. But I'm like, I don't want this dog to sit there while 500 other people are boarding. And so I waited to the bitter end to get on the plane so that everyone can get on. And then I can get on with the dog, right? And out of courtesy, your dog should at least be showered and smell good, because even in business class, you're probably going to sit next to somebody, for whatever amount of hours. And you certainly, don't want to be off-putting with the smell of your dog, right? So in sharing that, what did I learn from flying an adult dog? It's not easy, especially here's the challenges, right? I purchased Fortuna. However, I haven't spent time with her. So I wanted to fly in early so I could bond with her, walk her, understand her personality and what triggers her, right? Because, I talked to my breeder and it's like, okay, she is not dog aggressive. She's not people aggressive. She's not child aggressive. However, most dogs don't normally go into an airport. So when the different noises and stimulants around you, people, kids, just everything, you don't know how a dog's going to react. And so for me, and then it's like, for me, get the dog there early, right? You get the dog there early, get it used to the environment, let it walk, let it assimilate. Once the dog assimilates, then it's more in a natural state and not tense, right? The worst thing you can do is be late for your flight, trying to pull a dog that you don't know, that doesn't know you, and you want the dog to trust you, but the dog just met you, and you're trying to pull a 120 pound dog through TSA, and you're rushing to get to your gate because you're running late, and this dog is not cooperating. Like, that is very stressful. And so really think about that, for you guys who are thinking about getting an adult dog. It's different with a puppy. You just carry the puppy and go. But with an adult dog, it's a different animal. If this dog decides to resist and pull back and fight or just lay down, you got a problem, because that's a big dog, right? What would I have done differently from this flight? I probably would have came earlier or flew out later. One or the other, just because I feel like, first of all, let me say I was fortunate that I've grown up with dogs all my life. And so bonding with a dog is natural for me. And on Fortuna's end, I was well received. She took me in and she trusted me right away. So that part of it was easy. Now, had I didn't have the experience with dogs, or the dog is difficult and didn't want to trust me right away, I would have had to delay my flight. Because how you gonna bring this giant muscled up dog on a plane and force it, and people are looking at you like you're crazy, right? It's not gonna go well for you. So that's what I would have done differently. I would have spent more time with a dog, and ideally I would have flew in, spent a day with her, put her in a pet-friendly hotel, and flew out the next morning. If I could do it all over again, I would have done it like that, and honestly, it would have been less stressful for both of us. And so, just giving you tips, guys, right? Things I think that would really help you out. So, for my other dogs, it was easy because my breeders were local. I was able to drive hour and a half out and drive back. So, that's the best case scenario. However, the reality is that's not what happens here, right? In what we do. So at the end of it all, like, okay, let me see. With Fortuna, right? Oh, let me share this with you guys. So Fortuna is an international purchase dog. So to get her from Brazil to here cost me roughly $4,000, right? And I don't even have possession of the dog. So my partner, Aurea, with Samba Kennels, who also runs Dogo Jet, she's been transporting dogs for probably the last 18 years, was, courteous enough to hold her for me, because at the time when we were able to get her here, I was out of town in the Philippines, if you guys watch my other episodes. So I wasn't even ready to receive her. But Aurea is just a gem of a person, and she held her for me, took care of the dog, make sure the dog was good and settled in. And then I was supposed to get her, and then she went into heat, which we were breeding her to Klaus, which prolonged me picking her up. But again, life happens, right? And you just got to roll with it and not push what you want. Rather, do what's going to be right for the dog first, and just be patient. So, just in dog transport alone, $4,000 to get Fortuna to the U.S., right? And then that first class ticket to fly her back and forth, plus the Ubers and everything else. So to get Fortuna actually to me here, right about $5,000, all right, just to get the dog. That's not including what I paid for or anything else, or the health test and everything to assure that she's good, just to get her here. So I wanted to share that because if you're a person that's, picking up a puppy within the intercontinental U.S., I think this information would help you. If you have interest in a puppy internationally, I think this would help you. If you're thinking about importing an adult to the U.S., this is valuable for you. If you're thinking about exporting an adult that someone wants to buy from you, from the U.S., this information definitely helps you. So to basically give it a recap is that within the U.S., the average cost of ground transport for dog transport is about $750, the national average right now. Anywhere in the U.S. to your door is about $750. That service may take 2 or 3 days for the dog to get to you. Keep in mind that the dog transport people are separate from the breeder and separate from you. That's a third party, right? So before your breeder will release that dog has to be paid in full, guys. That's just what it is. So, not trying to be funny. Let's see what else is good information. Okay. Dog transport people, about $750. Okay. Flight nanny, right? They got this thing called a flight nanny where somebody will deliver the dog 2 ways, right? Flight nanny, you can meet the flight nanny at the airport and pick up your puppy, or the flight nanny can get off the airport and deliver the dog directly to you or the puppy, right? And those costs are right around $500 to $1,000, right? That's without the price of the airfare and without the price of a rental car. So, that person is charging you $500 to $1,000 to run your errands, basically. And it all depends, depending on who you're hiring, how reputable the company is. So, but generally speaking, I price this out. It's $500 to $1,000 to hire a flight nanny, and you got to pay for the tickets and or car rental, whatever expenses are incurred to get the dog to your door or to the airport, where you just go up to the airport at arrivals, grab the dog, take a picture, bounce, and go home. That's what the price is, right? So, in summary, to drive somewhere is the cost of either the car rental, the gas, everything else. The flight, though it seems more expensive, is actually cheaper, right? Compared to a flight nanny, flight nanny is probably your most expensive way to get a puppy to you. When it comes to those kind of services, ground service is probably more economical over a flight nanny. However, compared to flying or driving, right? Unless the person's within 4 hours of you driving, I would say it's cheaper to pay a dog ground transport than it is to fly and pick up your dog, or to fly and drive your dog back, or to drive there and drive your dog back, given that the dog is further out than 4 hours from where you live. So with that said, that's my breakdown of, should you pay a service? Because if someone charges you $750 to get a dog to you in 2 days, to me, that's a winner. That is a winner. No stress, ground transport, you take the dog straight to you. If I could do it all over again, I would have done that. Now, the reason why we didn't do that is because we actually wanted to drive the U.S. We wanted to see different dogs, stop by different kennels. It's for our own personal reasons. But if you're just doing this as a one-off and you don't have the time and, you're looking at, well, of course, who isn't trying to save money, right? And so from that perspective, this is why I broke this video down. With that said, guys, I think that's it. I think I've covered everything in this episode that needed to be covered. If I missed something, please comment. Again, we're here to bring you information that's tangible, that we've been through, that we paid for, and have experienced ourselves, right? This is not fictitious. And here's our girl. Look at her. Looking all beautiful. So she is here. She's been bred. We got her here. We got her here yesterday, in fact. And super excited to get some updated photos and videos of her. Our girl Fortuna from Brazil. And with that said, guys, thank you so much. And we'll catch you on the next episode.